Now I don't have any plywood bits, and using a 3/4 inch standard bit for 3/4 inch joinery and plywood doesn't really work all that well. Plywood's undersized by just a titch. So what I've done is I've chucked a 1/2 inch straight bit into my router and attached the edge guide, and I've got a scrap piece that I actually use as a setup jig for my Craig jig. And it's the same thickness. It's actually made from the same material as this plywood here. And so what I've done is I've routed the 1/2 inch dado in both bottoms, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly move the bit back toward the bottom because the top of this dado is at exactly 3 inches, which is where my trim is going to go on the outside. And so I've got to bring my bit back really slowly until I get this dado perfect so that this piece of scrap will slide in there. Once I've got that done on one of them, then I can just run and do the second part on the other half. This is going to kind of reduce the amount of work time that I've got going on here. I'm wearing a mask because the plywood dust is kind of nasty and I was coughing and choking on it a little bit ago. So we'll just run through this joint and then finish them off and call it good. Forgot to move the fence. Just trying to make sure that I'm going to take material out on the right side. I hate doing this wrong. Use my test block, still got a ways to go. Now you may be wondering why I'm going right to left. It's a good question. The reason I'm going right to left instead of left to right is because of the bit direction, or the bit rotation direction. If I was going left to right, I'd have the bit rotating in this clockwise fashion, and I'd be taking out stock on that side. Or, if I'm taking out stock on my side, I'd be climb cutting all the way up. You really don't want to climb cut, and so what I'm doing is I'm moving right to left. Because as that bit rotates clockwise, it's going to take out chunks on my side, and so I'm doing the proper cut there. I'm a little paranoid, so I'm trying to check every time. Still got a little ways to go. Pretty darn close now. Now I'm going to go for a pretty tight fitting joint because as I sand the bottom here and then as I sand In some other places, the work obviously gets a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go for a really tight fitting joint. Closer still. Really stinking close. In fact, we have arrived. Like I said, I'm going for a pretty tight fit, and that is pretty stinking tight. So, now that I've got this one set up, I know exactly where I am. So now I don't need to go through that process here on the second piece. Brush it off a little so the router sits nice and flush. Now, I've got two dados that are exactly the same size, in exactly the same place, and they're nice and tight.